Hey YouTube, we're back again, as you can see, with another video. Today I'm actually doing a bit of a sort of a mid-month update. I actually bought quite a lot recently, and I've been watching a fair bit. So I thought I might do a bit of a sort of mid-month, and just so I can sort of get these out of the way and put them on the shelf, and then I'm sure I'll do another update in a few weeks' time at the my normal sort of end of the month. Yeah, so I'm still wearing my work shirt, as you can see. So I've just got home from work and I thought I might just shoot the video and get it done. Yeah, so we'll make a start. Right. Okay, so we'll go through this pretty quickly. I don't really want to spend make a huge long video, but so I'll just sort of slip through them. I've got the Ghost Shark here, which comes with a really cool Lentiglia type cover. That's pretty cool. Not a particularly great movie though. I didn't really like this one all that much. I'm a bit of a fan of sort of cheesy sort of shark movies. I do have quite a few, and they're all sort of fun to watch. But this was not really all that great. Apart from the cover there, which I think's pretty cool. It's probably the only reason to buy it, maybe. But pretty terrible. Probably not really worth talking about, really. The second one is X-Men First Class, which came with this slip cover. Just kind of one of the main reasons I sort of bought it. It was very sort of cheap on eBay. I think it was only like $7, I think. I do have a bit of a rant though. It did sort of get a bit scuffed up. You probably can't see it very well, but some of the corners are a bit scuffed up. The guy just sort of sent it in like a normal sort of, sort of cardboard envelope. There was no sort of, bubble wrap or anything, padding with it whatsoever. So, which I wasn't particularly happy about, because I did sort of get a bit, scuffed up. Which has sort of happened to me a few times before, and it does annoy me a little bit. It does sort of annoy me a little bit that people don't pad up these things when they send them across. So I did sort of send him an email saying okay, I received it, fair enough, and but you should really use bubble wrap with it. And he said, well, I've sent tons of things like this and never had any sort of problems with it. Which I don't know. I don't know whether I'm just being picky with that or not. I mean, it's okay. Fair enough, you can perhaps send something without any padding with it, but it did, as far as I can see, it did sort of get damaged, during transit. And if you'd padded it up, it wouldn't have got it, scuffed up. That's sort of happened to me a few times, and I remember sort of thinking last time it happened that I was just going to, give them, if it did sort of happen again, I was just going to give them, negative feedback. Which I don't know. I don't like giving negative feedback. Some people have like 200 positive, on their account. Positive, feedback, and I don't want to be the guy that comes along and puts negative feedback on someone's channel. But you really should. I think you definitely should send put some bubble wrap around it if you're going to send something. So I don't know. That might be my question perhaps for this video. Do you think I should? If it happens to me again, should I just leave negative feedback and not bother trying to contact the seller? I mean, they might get annoyed that I didn't sort of contact them first to try and resolve the problem. But I mean, they should really know better, that they should send it with padding. Anyway, that's my little rant, I suppose. I did sort of give this one a bit of a watch. I have sort of said it before. And there's been a lot of those movies, and I'm not really quite sure, I'm pretty sure this was a prequel of sorts, I know that. There's been a lot of X-Men movies, and I'm not really quite sure which one came first, and sort of which order that they came in. Yeah, I did actually quite enjoy this one, though. I rewatched The Amazing Spider-Man, and then, because I watched my last update, I did get The Amazing Spider-Man 2, even though I had sort of heard, terrible things about it. But I mean, I gave it a watch, and I actually didn't think it was too bad, really. I thought it was quite a sort of fun, enjoyable movie. I mean, there's a few sort of stupid moments in it. Yeah, there's a lot of stupid moments in the first movie, and other Marvel comic movies, and just in movies in general. Sometimes there's some sort of silly scenes, and so yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was, some people reckon it was, one of the worst films of last year, but I didn't think it was that bad. yeah, I don't know. I didn't think it was that bad at all, really. I don't know. Maybe I'm just the majority on that one, but I don't know. I thought it was alright. Another film that, yeah, it does get. I had sort of heard mixed things about. That's Lucy. So I did sort of watch it and sort of went under sort of IMDb afterwards, and apparently it's not a very well liked film. Apparently, I didn't sort of realise that it was I think mostly negative from what I can sort of see. But I actually really quite enjoyed this one. I thought it was actually really good. I thought really sort of a fun, very sort of energy type film. Lots of action in it and nice sort of story to it. And of course it's got Scarlett Johansson in it. You can't go wrong with that. But yeah, actually quite enjoyed it. I mean, I have sort of read a few reviews on it, and people complain about that the science is not, not legitimate. Whatever you want to call it. It's not the science is flawed. But it's a movie though. I don't understand why people have to obsess over things that aren't aren't based in reality. But yeah, I actually thought it was quite good. Good story to it. Sort of mind-blowing visuals and yeah, I actually quite enjoyed it. I thought it was actually really good. So that's Lucy. Another film that gets sort of mixed reviews as well, apparently. That's the Box Trolls, which I bought on DVD. I was sort of hoping to get the Blu-ray release of it, but I don't know, I was a bit impatient. I just wanted to. I found this for $10, so I grabbed it. But I actually quite enjoyed this one as well. Actually, I thought it was actually quite good. The same makers that did Coraline and Paranormal Activity. Wasn't sort of a huge fan of Coraline, believe it or not. A lot of people seem to like that one, but I wasn't. I just thought it was not that all that original. I didn't think. I actually quite liked Paranormal though. I thought that was actually pretty good. This one, yeah, and this one here I thought was really good too. Yeah, I think some people complained about the animation, but this is sort of done by a sort of smaller studio, so it's not like a big sort of Disney Pixar studio behind it. This is more sort of a smaller sort of studio, so it can't perhaps necessarily be quite up to the standard of say Pixar. But I mean, I thought it was actually pretty good overall. I think some of the 3D animation I think was not quite as good as perhaps other stuff I've sort of seen, but it was still really good though. Really good sort of good sort of animation. Good, really nice visuals, and I thought it was actually quite animated quite well, really. I think the other complaint most people had, it's not really it's sort of I guess it's a kids film, but it's a bit more of sort of a dark sort of story to it, and some of the characters that are a bit sort of I guess grotesque, I suppose, to look at. But I don't think it was necessarily that bad though. If you watch say Rango, I think that's definitely a film that I think's got some pretty grotesque characters in it, and not particularly nice sort of visuals to look at. I didn't think. But this one is is a gritty sort of a dark sort of tone to it. But yeah, I actually quite like the story and quite like the characters to it. And it was very sort of quirky and quite interesting. It is perhaps a bit of a sort of slow watch though. I think some scenes are a bit not quite as sort of fun to watch, I suppose. It does kind of get a little bit dull in a few scenes, but overall I thought it was actually quite good, and definitely one I'd probably would watch again, because I did actually quite like it. So that's Box Trolls. Back onto the Blu-rays again. This is a film that actually I have sort of seen on a few people's top 10s of last year. It's Calvary with Brendan Gleeson. Another film I actually quite enjoyed this. I thought it was actually really good. Definitely perhaps a film you've got to sort of watch, I think, a few times, I think, really, to fully grasp what's going on in it. You kind of watch it, it's kind of the film that I think you sort of watch it and you think, well, that was alright, not bad, but what you sort of think about it, the story and what happened in it, and you start to think, well, that was actually quite good. So you sort of about, I'll just quickly go over basics of it. Since you've got Brendan Gleeson here, and he's kind of like the local priest in like a sort of a small, pretty sure it's like an Irish town, and one day this guy comes into confession, and basically sort of says that when he was a child, he was sort of sexually abused by priests, for so many years, and Brendan sort of says, well, you should go to police. You should, go and get some help on that, and you should report it. And the guy says, well, it's not much point because the priest's dead now, so so I can't really, I can't sort of do much about it. But I've decided that I'm going to kill you instead, sort of thing. So he says, well, so if you meet me down at the beach in a week's time, I'm going to kill you, sort of thing. Just sort of, he says, well, so you can get your affairs in order, and get ready for it, I suppose. The rest of the film's just sort of about Brendan Gleeson and him just sort of being in the town for the next week, and you sort of start to meet some of the other townsfolk, and you start to sort of realise that they're not particularly nice group of people. I didn't think they're very sort of depressing type characters, and very much just sort of say what's on their mind, and it was probably like two characters I thought in the film that were actually nice, or the rest of them were just rather sort of nasty and depressed, type people, and they're not particularly nice to the priests either. I mean, I think in some ways they sort of perhaps go to church every Sunday, sort of thing, because it's probably part of, I guess, part of the town's tradition, but you sort of get the impression that they don't really want to be there, and they don't really like the priest at all, sort of thing. And I think because there's a lot of I suppose a lot of sort of sexual abuse by priests, it's sort of come to light over in recent years. I think that's sort of why maybe they've got this sort of not very high opinion of the church, and by default the Brendan Gleeson character, sort of thing. But yeah, it's a bit of a sort of a depressing type movie, but really great performances in it, and quite a good story. You sort of want to find out who this guy is, sort of thing. I mean, Brendan Gleeson says he knows exactly who it was, and because you can sort of tell by the voice, I guess. But yeah, it's probably a film that probably needs to be a single review on it, really, to really explain what's going on. And there's a lot of, like, the townspeople say a lot of random things, and you kind of have to sort of think about what later you might, after thinking about the film for quite a while, you might sort of start to maybe understand maybe why they said that, or what what they're on about, sort of thing. And very sort of, sometimes a very sort of subtle film. I think you've really got to sort of be paying attention to it to know what's going on, sort of thing. Anyway, it's probably a film that probably needs a single video about, or single review of. But definitely one that I would recommend, if you don't mind. Sort of more sort of black comedies maybe, or more depressing type stories. So that's Calvary. Another sort of UK English sort of one. This is actually sort of Scottish type film. This is actually the film that I think I showed this on my last update, but I hadn't sort of watched it at the time though. This is Filth, and definitely a very sort of a filthy film. It's very sort of nasty, very much kind of like The Wolf of Wall Street, I suppose. I had to sort of supposed to relate it to a film. It was definitely like that, very sort of outrageous, things sort of happen in it. Sort of the main character, he's like a cop, and there's sort of a promotion coming up at work. So he really wants this promotion. So he's basically, spends a lot of the time with the film, trying to. There's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 other people that are, going for the job, sort of thing. So he's got to try and get rid of them, sort of thing. Try and discredit them, sort of thing. So he sort of does all these rather sort of nasty things to them, sort of thing, to get them out of the running, type thing. But yeah, definitely, I actually quite enjoyed it though. It was quite a sort of funny, but sort of rather sort of nasty, type things going on in it. But yeah, definitely a good film though, I thought. Yeah, Filth. Just some DVDs now. Picked up Robin Williams Live at Broadway. Live on Broadway, I should say. I haven't sort of watched this one yet, but you know, Robin Williams is the man, so I definitely will, you know, looking forward to giving that a bit of a watch at some point. I picked up sort of a Billy Connolly one, sort of best of, I think it is top thing, I suppose. I think it's just sort of clips of his sort of best bits of stand-up, I think. So he's definitely a comedian that I actually quite like, Billy Connolly. Picked up a triple pack of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Definitely trying to get perhaps some more sort of cheesy sort of horror movies, perhaps in my collection, just sort of, especially from the 90s, I suppose, just sort of fun. I haven't sort of seen this one for years either, so I'm looking forward to giving them a bit of a watch. Next one's actually one that I have watched this film before and didn't sort of think much of it, so I wanted to perhaps give it another go. That's Napoleon Dynamite. I just remember it being a rather sort of boring film, but that was years ago when I sort of watched it, so I might perhaps just give it another watch and sort of see what it's like. And then I actually bought it again because it came with a slipcover. So I sort of ended up with sort of 2 copies of it, which is, you know, I think this is only like $2, and I thought, you know, I might as well just rebuy it again because comes with the slip. Yeah, so that's that. I picked up another film which is supposed to be, pretty bad. That's Yogi Bear. I've not spent all that much from it, but I don't know, I'm sure it'll be a bit of a time waster, I suppose. Complete first season of the Jetsons. I used to watch the show all the time when I was a kid, so I'm looking forward to perhaps giving that a bit of a revisit. Bugs Life, which I haven't sort of seen for quite a while. I know Movie Cave Dave's a bit of a fan of this one, so looking forward to give this a bit of a watch when I get a chance. Got Kung Fu Panda and Kung Fu Panda 2, which I think were both $5, I think. I think it was like a deal for like, pretty sure it was like $3 for $15 or something. So I picked up those two. I picked up a double pack of Ace Ventura Pet Detective. I haven't sort of seen these ones for a long time either, actually. Looking forward to giving them a bit of a watch. I finally got season 1 of Hey Arnold, which I did sort of show season 2, and I saw that I hadn't sort of received the first one, even though they'd both been sent at the same time. But yeah, I ended up sort of getting this one, I think a day or two later after I uploaded my last video. Yeah, so that's that. So that's my, sort of, I was going to say a quick update, but it might be a rather sort of long video. But yeah, I had sort of picked up quite a lot recently, and I just sort of make a quick video, or quickish video, before I do my end of the month update, because I'm sure I'll have, more to show then. So yeah, that's it. Certainly leave me a comment if you see any of these. Give me a thumbs up, like, whatever. That's it. Thanks for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all soon. Bye.